Welcome to Eternal Enigma. Everything you know about Lucifer is wrong. The fallen angel, the morning star, the devil, Satan, the serpent in Eden, the ruler of hell. Christianity has spent 2,000 years teaching you that these are all the same being. But what if I told you that Lucifer was never an angel? That the Bible never describes his fall from heaven? That Isaiah 14, the passage everyone quotes about the fallen lightbringer, is actually about a human king, not a celestial being? What if Lucifer, Satan, and the devil are three completely different entities that got merged into one composite character, and the truth is far stranger and more disturbing than the mythology? Today we're deconstructing the greatest case of mistaken identity in religious history. This is the real story of Lucifer, and it's not what the church told you. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video to support our team's dedication to bringing you so much high-quality knowledge. The name that shouldn't exist. Here's the first shock. The name Lucifer appears in the Bible exactly once, and it's not describing a demon. Isaiah 14:12, King James Version. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? This is the only biblical appearance of Lucifer, and if you read the context, it's clearly talking about the king of Babylon, a human ruler being mocked for his arrogance and downfall, not a fallen angel. In the original Hebrew, the word isn't Lucifer at all, it's Hallel ben Shahar, meaning shining one, son of the dawn, or day star, son of the morning. This is metaphorical language comparing the king's fall from power to a morning star, Venus falling from the sky. When Saint Jerome translated the Bible into Latin, the Vulgate, 4th century, he translated Hallel as Lucifer, which in Latin simply means light bearer or morning star. It wasn't a proper name, it was a descriptive term. But over centuries, Christians reading the Latin Bible saw Lucifer and assumed it was the personal name of Satan. They connected it to Jesus' statement in Luke 10:18, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven, and concluded Isaiah 14 must be describing Satan's fall. This is how a poetic metaphor about a Babylonian king became the foundation for Christian demonology's central figure. The problem: Satan is named in the Bible, the devil is described, demons are cataloged, but Lucifer as the name of the fallen angel only exists because of a translation choice in the Latin Vulgate that was later misinterpreted. We're going to separate the entities, examine the original sources, and reveal what different religious traditions actually teach about the beings Christianity calls Lucifer, Satan, devil. What the text actually says. Let's read Isaiah 14 in full context, which Christians almost never do. Verse 4. You will take up this taunt against the king of Babylon. The chapter explicitly identifies its subject, the king of Babylon, likely Nebuchadnezzar II. This is a prophetic poem mocking a human tyrant's downfall, not a theological treatise on angelic rebellion. Verses 5 through 11 describe the king's oppression ending, his descent to Sheol, the grave underworld, where dead kings mock him. You too have become as weak as we are. You have become like us. This is clearly about human death. The mighty king reduced to corpse, no longer terrifying, just another dead body among dead bodies. Verse 12, how you have fallen from heaven, O morning star, son of the dawn. You have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations. Fallen from heaven is metaphor. The king's position was sky high, political power, wealth, dominion, and now he's fallen to earth, defeated, humiliated, dead. Ancient Near Eastern poetry commonly used celestial imagery for kings. Verse 13 through 14, you said in your heart, I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the Mount of Assembly, on the utmost heights of Mount Zaphon. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. This is describing the king's hubris, his arrogant ambition to be worshipped as a god, common among ancient Near Eastern monarchs. He wanted to rival UHVH, claim divine status. Verse 15, but you are brought down to the realm of the dead, to the depths of the pit. The punishment for hubris, instead of ascending to divine status, he descends to the grave like any mortal. Verse 16-20. Other dead kings observe his corpse and say, is this the man who shook the earth and made kingdoms tremble? His body won't even receive proper burial. Ultimate humiliation in ancient culture. The entire passage is about a human king. There's no angel, no cosmic rebellion, no war in heaven. It's a taunt song against a tyrannical human ruler who claimed divinity and was brought low by death. The falling from heaven imagery mirrors other biblical uses. Babylon itself in Jeremiah 51:53, though Babylon should mount up to heaven. Capernaum in Matthew 11:23, and you, Capernaum, will you be lifted to the heavens? No, you will go down to Hades. These are clearly metaphors for pride and downfall, not literal falls from celestial realms. So where did the angel story come from? Early church fathers Origen, Tertullian, Jerome read Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28, another passage about the king of Tyre, and interpreted them as containing dual prophecies, surface meaning about human kings, deeper meaning about Satan's fall. Their reasoning: the language seems too grandiose for mere humans. I will ascend above the stars. The description of perfection and beauty, Ezekiel 28, exceeds human capacity. Jesus mentions Satan falling from heaven, Luke 10:18, so Isaiah 14 must be referring to that event. But this is eisegesis, reading meaning into the text, rather than exegesis, drawing meaning from the text. The original Hebrew authors were writing about contemporary political enemies, not encoding secret angelic history. Modern scholarship consensus, biblical scholars across denominations, Catholic, Protestant, Jewish, now largely agree. Isaiah 14 is about the king of Babylon. Ezekiel 28 is about the king of Tyre. Neither passage originally referred to Satan or fallen angels. The Lucifer-Satan equation is post-biblical tradition, not biblical teaching. Who Satan actually is in the Hebrew Bible. Satan, Hebrew Shatan, isn't a proper name originally. It's a title meaning adversary or accuser. And in the Hebrew Bible, Old Testament, Satan is not the evil cosmic rebel Christians imagine. Satan in the book of Job, Job 1:6-12, is the most detailed early appearance of the Satan, with definite article, the adversary, not yet a personal name. The scene: God holds a divine council with the sons of God, Bene Elohim, heavenly beings, angels. Among them is Ha-Satan, the adversary. Critical details: Satan is in heaven, attending God's court. He's not rebellious. He's performing an official function. God and Satan have a civil conversation. God gives Satan permission to test Job. This Satan is more like a divine prosecutor or quality control inspector. His job is testing human righteousness, finding flaws, accusing the unworthy. He's adversarial but within the divine system, not opposed to it. Satan in Zechariah 3, the high priest Joshua stands before God, and the Satan is there to accuse him. But the angel of the Lord rebukes Satan, defends Joshua, and Satan backs down. Again, Satan is an accuser operating within heavenly court, subject to divine authority. Satan in 1 Chronicles 21, Satan rose up against Israel and incited David to take a census. Here Satan, no article, might be becoming a proper name, but even so, he's tempter/instigator, not ruler of hell or cosmic evil emperor. The Jewish understanding: in Jewish theology, Ha-Satan remains what he was in Job, a heavenly prosecutor, an angel with the specific function of testing humans and accusing the unworthy before God. He's adversarial toward humans but obedient to God. The Talmud describes Satan, the angel of death, and the Yetzer Hara, evil inclination, as the same entity, but this entity is created by God, serves God's purposes, and will eventually be destroyed by God at the end of days. There's no dualism, good God versus evil God, no cosmic rebellion, no hell ruled by Satan. He's a challenging force within monotheistic structure. Satan in the New Testament. The New Testament transforms Satan dramatically. The Gospels: Satan tempts Jesus in the wilderness, Matthew 4, Luke 4. Jesus calls Peter Satan when Peter opposes the crucifixion, Matthew 16:23. Using it as title, adversary, Jesus says, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven," Luke 10:18. Satan enters Judas before the betrayal, Luke 22. The epistles: for Paul calls Satan the god of this world, 2 Corinthians 4:4. Satan will be crushed under believers' feet, Romans 16:20. Revelation: Satan is the great dragon, that ancient serpent, Revelation 12:9. War in heaven: Michael versus the dragon, Revelation 12:7 or 9. Satan bound for 1,000 years, then released briefly, Revelation 22:3. Tester of faith: Rome tempter to sin, divine servant, Rome God's enemy, accuser in heaven, ruler of hell. What changed? The intertestamental period, 400 BC, development of apocalyptic literature, Book of Enoch, Jubilees, Testament of the 12 Patriarchs, that expanded angelology and demonology. These texts describe watchers, angels, rebelling and taking human wives, Azazel teaching warfare and corruption, a chief fallen angel leading rebellion against God, demons as offspring of fallen angels and human women. This literature influenced Second Temple Judaism and early Christianity, providing framework for Satan as rebel leader rather than just accuser. By the time the New Testament was written, Satan had become the personification of evil, the dragon, the ancient serpent from Eden, the prince of demons. But notice, the New Testament never calls him Lucifer. That connection comes later. Diabolos, the slanderer. Devil comes from Greek diabolos, meaning slanderer or false accuser. It's the Septuagint, Greek Old Testament translation of Hebrew Satan. So linguistically, Satan, Hebrew, diabolos, Greek devil, English. But theologically, the devil became a composite character absorbing multiple biblical and extra-biblical entities. 1. The serpent in Eden, Genesis 3. The Genesis account never identifies the serpent as Satan or a fallen angel. It's just described as more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made. A talking animal in a mythical garden, nothing more in the original text. Later interpretation. Book of Wisdom, 1st century BC. Through the devil's envy, death entered the world. Wisdom 2:24. First explicit connection of serpent to devil. Revelation 12:9. That ancient serpent called the devil or Satan. Retroactive identification. Christian tradition. The serpent was Satan in disguise. But Genesis itself, just a serpent. The devil identification is later commentary. Tanpra. Azazel, Leviticus 16. The scapegoat ritual. One goat sacrificed to Yhwh, another sent into wilderness for Azazel. What is Azazel? Medieval rabbis, a place cliff where goat was thrown. Book of Enoch, a fallen angel, leader of watchers. Some traditions, a demon of the desert. Christian interpretation, another name for Satan devil. This desert demon got absorbed into the devil composite. Beelzebub, 2 Kings 1:2. Gospels, originally Baal-zebub, Lord of Flies, a Philistine deity. Jews mockingly corrupted Baal-zebub, Lord of the High Place, into Baal-zebub, Lord of Flies. By New Testament times, Ron Matthew 12:24, Pharisees call Beelzebub the prince of demons. Either way, a Canaanite god became a Christian devil. 4. Belial, 2 Corinthians 6:15. What harmony is there between Christ and Belial? Belial appears in Dead Sea Scrolls as leader of forces of darkness. In Christian text, he's treated as synonym for devil/Satan. 5. The dragon, Revelation 12, seven-headed dragon, ancient serpent, identified with devil and Satan. This imagery draws from Leviathan, Jewish chaos monster. The apocalyptic dragon absorbed ancient Near Eastern chaos mythology. 6. The goat Pan imagery. Medieval Christianity associated the devil with goat features, horns, hooves, beard. Pan, Greek nature god, sexual, wild, half-goat, satyrs, and fawns. Baphomet imagery. This created the popular image, horned, hoofed, red-skinned devil with pitchfork. But this imagery is nowhere in the Bible. It's pagan iconography absorbed into Christian demonology. The composite character. By medieval times, the devil was amalgamation of Satan, the accuser, Lucifer, the morning star, Babylon king, the serpent, from Eden, Beelzebub, Philistine deity, Belial, Dead Sea Scrolls demon, Azazel, scapegoat demon, the dragon, chaos monster, Pan, goat god, various other demons and fallen angels, all collapsed into one entity, the devil, ruler of hell, enemy of God, tempter of humanity. But originally, these were separate beings, separate concepts, separate mythologies from different cultures and time periods. Christianity, the rebel angel. Mainstream Christianity settled on this narrative. Lucifer was highest, most beautiful angel, often identified as seraphim or cherubim. Pride corrupted him. He wanted to be equal to or greater than God. He led rebellion of 1/3 of angels. War in heaven. Michael defeated Lucifer. Lucifer and rebel angels cast down, became Satan and demons. Lucifer, Satan, rules hell, tempts humanity, is God's cosmic enemy, will be finally defeated at Judgment Day. Sources for this narrative: Isaiah 14, misinterpreted; Ezekiel 28, misinterpreted; Luke 10 pound, War in Heaven; Traus LeBlanc, War in Heaven; 20 Peer 2:4, Angels who sinned; Jude 6, Angels who did not keep their positions. But notice, nowhere does it actually say Lucifer rebelled or Lucifer Satan. Judaism, no cosmic dualism. Traditional Judaism rejects the Christian narrative entirely. Traus LeBlanc, Satan is not a rebel, he's a divine servant, prosecutor Stester. There are no fallen angels in the Christian sense. Isaiah 14 is about Babylon's king, period. Evil exists but under God's sovereignty. God creates light and darkness. Isaiah 45:7-7, Satan will be destroyed at the end of days, not eternally punished. The Watchers, fallen angels in Book of Enoch, are separate from Satan and not part of mainstream Jewish theology. Some Kabbalistic traditions describe Samael as angel of death or poison of God. a harsh divine force, but not a rebel. Islam, Iblis and Shaitan. Islamic tradition has completely different origin story. Iblis, possibly from Greek diabolos, was a jinn, being created from fire, not an angel created from light. When Allah created Adam and commanded all beings to bow to him, Iblis refused out of pride. I am better than him. You created me from fire and created him from clay. Allah expelled Iblis from paradise but granted his request to live until Judgment Day, during which he vows to lead humans astray. Key differences. Iblis was never an angel. Angels can't disobey in Islamic theology. No war in heaven, just expulsion for disobedience. His sin was refusing to honor humanity. Inverse of Christian narrative where angels serving humans caused rebellion. Shaitan. Satin refers both to Iblis specifically and to all rebellious jinn generally. Islamic tradition has Iblis' personal name rather than Lucifer, and he's categorically different type of being. Gnosticism, the demiurge. Gnostic Christianity had radical reinterpretation. The material world was created by Yaldabaoth, the demiurge, a ignorant or malevolent false god who traps divine sparks, human souls in matter. The serpent in Eden was actually good, offering knowledge, gnosis, to free Adam and Eve from Yaldabaoth's prison. Lucifer, in some Gnostic texts, is a liberator, a light-bearer bringing knowledge, opposing the tyrannical demiurge. This inverts the entire Christian narrative. The God of the Old Testament is the villain. The serpent Lucifer is the hero. Zoroastrianism, Ahriman. Persian Zoroastrianism, predating Christianity, had dualistic theology. Ahura Mazda, god of light, good. Angra Mainyu, Ahriman, god of darkness, evil. These are equal opposing forces in cosmic battle. Some scholars think Jewish-Christian Satan concept was influenced by Persian dualism during Babylonian exile, borrowing the idea of cosmic evil entity opposing God. Luciferianism, Satanism, the Prometheus figure. Modern Luciferian philosophy, distinct from Satanism, views Lucifer as symbol of enlightenment, rebellion against tyranny, individual sovereignty. Prometheus figure, brought forbidden knowledge to humanity, not literal deity, but archetype of human potential and defiance of unjust authority. Levian Satanism uses Satan as symbol of carnality, individualism and skepticism, but doesn't believe in literal Satan. Theistic Satanism worships Satan/Lucifer as actual deity, often using Gnostic framework, where he's liberator opposing tyrannical demiurge. The contradiction. Every tradition tells different story. Christianity, rebel angel became Satan. Judaism, no rebel, Satan is divine servant. Islam, disobedient jinn, never an angel. Gnosticism, liberator opposing false god. Luciferianism, symbol of enlightenment. They can't all be true, which means either one is correct, others are wrong. All are mythological interpretations of archetypal concepts. Multiple different entities got conflated into single narrative. Separating mythology from history. Here's what we can establish with reasonable certainty. 1. Lucifer was never an angel. Isaiah 14 is about a human king. The word Lucifer is Latin translation choice, not a name. No biblical text says the angel Lucifer rebelled. 2. Satan started as divine prosecutor. In earliest Hebrew texts, Satan is heavenly accuser, divine prosecutor, tester, not rebel or evil emperor. 3. The evolution happened between testaments. During the intertestamental period, 400 BC to 0 AD, Jewish apocalyptic literature developed complex angelology/demonology. This influenced early Christianity's understanding. 4. Multiple entities got merged. Satan, accuser, Lucifer, morning star king, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Gnosticism, Zoroastrianism, all have different accounts because they're drawing from different cultural mythologies and theological frameworks. What this means. Option A, literalist view. All these are describing same entity from different perspectives, with details lost, corrupted over time. There is a Lucifer, Satan, devil, but religions disagree on specifics. Option B, mythological view. These are archetypal stories encoding psychological, spiritual truths. The adversary, the tempter, the rebel, the accuser, not literal biographical accounts of specific entity. Option C, syncretistic view. Christianity absorbed and merged multiple traditions, Jewish, Persian, Canaanite, Greek, Roman, into composite mythology serving theological purposes, explaining evil, providing cosmic enemy, justifying suffering. The most likely truth, the Lucifer Christians imagine, beautiful rebel angel cast from heaven who became Satan and rules hell, is a post-biblical construction. It's powerful mythology, but it's not what the original biblical texts actually say. The Hebrew Bible's Satan is divine prosecutor. Isaiah's Lucifer is Babylonian king. The New Testament's devil is composite figure. Revelation's dragon is apocalyptic symbol. They got merged over centuries into single character that now dominates Western demonology. But that character is theological construction, not biblical biography. And here's what's disturbing. If Lucifer isn't who we think he is, if Satan's role is different than taught, if the devil is amalgamation rather than individual, then who or what is actually opposing humanity? Maybe the adversary isn't external rebel angel. Maybe it's internal, the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, the shadow self, the human capacity for pride, rebellion, and destruction. Maybe we've been blaming Lucifer for what we do to ourselves. The greatest deception. We've deconstructed the Lucifer mythology piece by piece. Isaiah 14's morning star was a human king. Job's Satan was a heavenly prosecutor. The devil is a composite character absorbing multiple entities across cultures and centuries. The being Christianity calls Lucifer, also known as Satan, also called the devil, is theological construction, powerful, influential, culturally dominant, but not biblically accurate. Different religions tell contradictory stories because they're drawing from different sources, different mythologies, different cultural contexts. The irony? If Lucifer's greatest trick was convincing the world he doesn't exist, maybe his second greatest trick was convincing the world he's someone he's not. Christianity created a singular cosmic villain by merging Jewish divine prosecutor, Babylonian king metaphor, Canaanite deities, Greek chaos dragons, Persian dualism, pagan nature gods, and called the composite Lucifer Satan devil, one being, one rebellion, one enemy. But the original texts tell different stories. Satan serves God. Lucifer was a human. Beelzebub was a foreign god. The serpent was just a serpent. So who's the real adversary? Maybe there isn't one single entity. Maybe evil is distributed, multiple forces, multiple sources, or perhaps just human nature corrupted by pride and rebellion against divine order. The church taught you that Lucifer is Satan, is the devil, is the dragon, is the serpent, one unified enemy. The texts say otherwise. The truth is stranger, more fragmented, and more disturbing than the mythology. Because if there's no single villain to blame, no cosmic scapegoat, no devil made me do it, then we're responsible for evil ourselves, and that's more terrifying than any fallen angel. Subscribe to Eternal Enigma for more investigations that challenge what you think you know. Until next time, question everything you were taught, especially about the beings you were taught to fear. The real Lucifer, he's not who you think, and the truth will set you free, or terrify you. Either way, now you know.